Good morning and welcome, or good afternoon, to MSAB's Training Academy, a new way to train. My name is Chris Courier, and I'll be walking you through this presentation on this webinar. You will notice that there's going to be some poll questions. Also, there's a chat feature where you can chat and ask questions. And also, there are some documents that you can download. So hopefully everybody can hear me, and see the slide presentation okay?
Loud and clear, Chris.
All right, thanks, Greg. It's Greg Masterson. He's going to be monitoring the chat today. Greg is the director for technical for trainers and technical sales engineers. So welcome to you, Greg. Now let's get started. So this is myself, Chris Courier, police officer since 1988. Been involved with forensics since 1998 when it comes to digital forensics. So retired police detective, currently still a part-time police officer. And my contact information is on the screen. The email is probably the best way to get a hold of me if you have any questions or need any assistance with anything, please let me know. Welcome to all of you today. Also, Jerry Diamond will not be joining us today, but Jerry is heading up the XRY Pro Advanced Examiner setup that you're going to see this morning or this afternoon. And Jerry's been a technical trainer just since 2015. Same year that I joined, and he is from Florida, Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Unfortunately, Jerry has undergone 2 hurricanes, and while he has power, he does not have internet. So he's out there probably cutting down trees and trying to find gas at the moment. But Jerry brings his expertise to the XRY Pro Advanced Examiner course, especially when it comes to mobile forensic repair, and dealing with all kinds of soldering and repair issues. So that is Jerry Diamond. And today we are going to be looking at these advanced courses. So we are going to look at the XRY Pro Advanced Examiner, the XRY Pro Advanced Analyst courses, and you can see the handouts. So download the handouts for the course descriptions and more information on the courses. Kind of some exciting stuff for both courses. We've added some artificial intelligence information to help you with your analytics. So again, welcome everyone. So don't forget to download the course flyers. You'll see those. Also, do not forget to answer the poll questions. Those will help us keep current with what you're seeing and your experiences are out there in the field. So please keep us up to date. We're going to start today with the XRY Pro Advanced Examiner course. Many of you may remember the Advanced Acquisition course, our AA course, and probably have been through it. If you have not, that course dealt specifically with what we're going to talk about here, as well as getting into JTAG and chip off, which unfortunately seem to be going, they seem to be dropping due to encryption. Not that they aren't good practical skills to have, but we need to adjust and focus in on what we can currently do with mobile devices. And although chip off might be a viable option, JTAG might be a viable option. Some of the things that we're hearing from customers is mostly test point type stuff that we use with XRY and XRY Pro, as well as repairing damaged phones, fixing the phone so you can get it to work in the first place to do that extraction. So for the XRY Pro Advanced Examiner Certification course, Attendees must have successfully completed the XRY certification training. Yes, we don't want to spend a lot of time going over XRY basics with you. Hopefully you guys already have that down when you come to this class so that you're familiar with XRY, all the options and so forth. So we want to focus really in on these advanced techniques, and hopefully you'll have everything you need for the course when you show up. As usual with our courses, we tend to provide everything that you are going to need for the course. It's an intense course, so be ready for some intense hands-on in this class. It is a 5-day expert level training course, and it's designed for our customers who are seeking to extract critical data from the most challenging and even broken mobile devices. So as you look at the poll questions, we kind of want to find out, what do you see for broken devices? Is it mostly that you have to replace a screen or digitizer, battery, USB port, or something else? So again, please take a second to go through the poll questions so we can get those results and take a look at those. So we've updated some new equipment and some new focus areas, as you can tell with just what I've told you so far. And so we are updating the equipment and adding that to the course. Here is an example of a heat gun that can be used to help with the adhesive and removing screens or other parts of a device to repair it. So we are adding that to the course. So it is hands-on. As usual with our courses, we try to be as hands-on as possible, which is why at the end you'll see this is not an online course. This is definitely a hands-on, in-person, live class. So unfortunately, this is not one we'll be providing online. You really need to get this hands-on skill and confidence when it comes to this. I know that when I teach other classes, and we get into some of the test point stuff, the students are extremely happy that they had a chance to do it hands-on first on a test phone before they ended up having to do it on an actual case device. So this course is meant to build your confidence and your skill and your knowledge when it comes to these areas. And as with any course, you'll learn something new, no doubt, as do I, even as the instructor. So when it comes to using advanced data extraction methods for supported Android devices, this is the class for you. We're going to focus on new ways to secure data when other mobile, to get secure data when mobile forensic tools are not an option. Introduce you to the concepts of device security, identification, and advanced profiles, and more ways to take a look at this. Obviously, chipsets are a big deal when it comes to mobile devices and security. So we look at chipsets and also booting methods when we talk about XRY in general with our courses. So this is going to be focusing in on Android devices for this class. So that will be the focus. So bypassing the Android security, obtaining a full file system or physical extraction of supported devices, which is always nice if you can do that. And sometimes it may just be quickly fixing a device, replacing a battery, or it might be using test points where you have to take apart the phone. So having the skill set to repair a device is extremely helpful, but it also helps you take apart the device safely so you can avoid breaking anything that's not broken. So there are times where you may have to do some things, recently cutting into a heat shield, things like that. But the idea is to get this phone to function so that you can get an extraction from it, and an unencrypted extraction from it is our goal. In some cases, random access memory RAM dumps may also be acquired. You can do this with some XRY, the Samsung upload mode, or when you use XRY Pro, some devices we will get RAM dumps from automatically through the process of the extraction. So we will take a look in this course at analyzing RAM, so that way you can find the data that's in it. You might be able to find all kinds of different things, from email stuff to messages to web browsing history and a lot more. And this is where we're adding some artificial intelligence to help you create some regular expressions and so forth to get into this data and find it. One of the things that happens with RAM analysis is a thing called bit rot, and you'll learn more about that in the class. So I won't get into it here, but you need to know how to search for data when you are dealing with bit rot for sure. So we will get into using XAMN Pro to actually look at the RAM extraction and find data that could be extremely important to your case that you may not find anywhere else. So that's XAMN Pro using a hex search to find some data and to show you what the data is. Here is the application. So this was using XRY with the Samsung upload mode device and using the session app. And I found a message. I found a bunch of messages actually, but here's an example one. Can't take screenshots. That's good. And I sent it at 0956. I put that timestamp in there, obviously for my testing purposes. But as you can see, I was able to recover the messages from the RAM. Obviously, it's going to depend on how long ago the message was when you got the device and RAM. But just wanted to show you guys some quick analysis of a RAM dump and how valuable it really is. And even more so when you get right into it with all the things that you might be able to find in RAM. So the XRY Pro Advanced Examiner Certification students receive applied soldering skills. We didn't remove that from the course. That's still there. So we have hands-on activities with soldering. I know I learned soldering through the MSAB course myself. I found out what I was doing wrong. So that was always helpful. So the right way to solder is good to know. Providing students with the skills necessary to replace broken or inoperable device screens and swapping out broken data ports. And I see we have a question. What hardware and software resources are needed for PCs? Not much. You're going to need some good RAM for doing XAMN Pro, depending on what options you use with XAMN Pro. XRY and XRY Pro itself tend to be pretty easy as far as the requirements go. I would still go higher than 8 gigs of RAM, but definitely for brute forcing anything, or if you're doing analysis, you definitely want to be higher on the RAM side, which I'm guessing most of your forensic computers are. So, and probably want the latest. So great, thank you. So the specs are right there, but again, I would go high on RAM, and especially try to get the newest processor you could get. And don't forget with XRY, you want to take a look at the XRY downloads, and maybe you can make use of your graphics card. So look into that as well, and you'll find that in our XRY customer portal. All right, good question, but fortunately for the XRY part, not too much. XAMN, yeah, you want to have some good speed with XAMN. Just showing you guys an example here of taking apart and repairing a USB port. So some of them are easier than others, just like screens. I'm sure some of you have found a lot of broken screens or broken batteries, and sometimes it's easy to replace it, and sometimes there's a lot of steps to it, and also sometimes you can't find a guide for it as well. So this is the XRY Pro Advanced Examiner course. So we want to use these methods to help you get the data And again, decoding it, if it's encrypted, doing the chip off could be an issue. And you should be aware of that. You don't want to just do a chip off blindly on a device. You need to know. And if you guys have any questions about a device, as always, please contact our great support and let them know what device you have, and see if we can help you out with that. All right. Are there any questions about the XRY Pro Advanced Examiner class? I don't see any.
Nothing else in the chat, Chris.
All right. Great. Thank you, Greg. All right. So XAMN Pro Advanced Analyst. This replaces our Advanced Application Analysis class. We didn't remove anything that I can think of from the course. We've actually added to it. So we still have the same great material in here for dealing with application data. So XAMN Pro certification is required for this course. Again, the same reason. This is a hands-on class, and we really don't have time to go over all of the XAMN Pro features that you get access to in the XAMN Pro certification course. So the XAMN Pro certification course is 2 days. The XRY certification course is 3 days. And if you saw the first part 1 webinar in this series, you would also know that there are some online options for the course as well. So if you're not able to make it to one of our training classes, hopefully you are. But if you are not, hopefully you can at least attend online for those classes. And then hopefully join us for a live class for the XAMN Pro Advanced Analyst or XRY Pro Advanced Examiner, depending on what tasks you are required to do. Are you an analyst? Are you an examiner? Do you do both? Which is often the case. You end up doing both. So let's talk about the Advanced Analyst course. So this course is designed for digital forensic professionals. It's 5 days, equips you with expert skills to navigate the world of applications. So looking at application data that is stored on the device, typically from our developers, about 99% of the time, if the information is stored on the device, it is stored in a SQLite database. And we can use Python scripting to enhance your capability to uncover crucial artifacts using XAMN Pro. So that's an example of using a Python script. And if any of you look at the poll questions, you're going to see that I threw some in there about using Python. And for those of you that use Python, hopefully you know that our customer portal, we have a lot of Python scripts in there, mostly from our technical engineers that are putting them in there. So the customer portal, be sure to check it out. And always with a Python script, be aware if it's iOS or Android. Big difference in how even a SQLite database is set up between the two. So make sure you know that if you're grabbing a Python script for a specific app, that it is, whether it's iOS or if it's for Android. And be aware, apps can change very quickly. So you may need to modify the script for the newest changes to the database. So that is something that we get into, and we start Python. In case you guys didn't know, XRY installs Python on the computer. So for those of you with XRY, congratulations, you already have Python there. So maybe take a basic course or pick up a book in the coding section for kids on making games with Python if you want to learn Python as well. But we do go over that in the course at from a very beginner level, and then we ramp it up quickly to be able to tie it in to using that Python script with XAMN Pro. And even XRY, you can run the script even with XRY, which is, again, a poll question for you guys. So why get XAMN Pro certified? Well, there's a lot of apps out there. and you want to extract that crucial evidence from that application or from the device itself. It may not be a specific app. It might be something you want from the device. So be sure to look at it this way, that there might be a Python script to help you if XRY doesn't decode that data, but it exists. And instead of going and looking for it manually, there may be a Python script that is available. Or take this class and maybe you develop the Python script for it. So that way, the next time you encounter it, you have a Python script for that particular setting or something that you're looking for, maybe a password, whatever the case may be. So there's a lot you can use Python scripts for that will help you bring that data into XAMN Pro. That way you can filter on it. So utilize the information found in SQLite databases and use Python to direct your efforts. Now, again, we want to cover SQLite databases and learn the makeup of them. So that's going to be an important part here, is making sure that you have the knowledge about SQLite databases, how they function, what happens when data is deleted. And most of you have always dealt with unsupported apps, right? There's always going to be something. In class, I always give the 420 app. So I figured I'd put that one in there. But as you can see, if there is a 420 app, it is not supported by XRY. So if you guys do have any devices or apps that are not supported, but you routinely see them, please let our support know. We don't know every app that's out there. And certainly we want to find out from you guys what you're seeing. That's important for us. So please let support know, let your sales rep know what you're seeing, and maybe we can find the support for that and get that in there so it parses for you. So please keep that in mind. But we don't support every app. There's too many of them, just like devices. So we have to really focus on the main ones that are out there that are very popular, but also focusing in on what our customers see. So please let us know. So I've talked a lot about Python already with SQLite, but there are other files that make up the application data. And these are typically plist files for iPhones and XML files for, could be iPhones, could be Android. They don't have a Windows registry, so they need some way of maintaining settings, user preferences, and even in some cases, user history. So being able to understand that even further from the XAMN Pro course, getting into a more advanced level, and actually being able to parse those things, like I said, with a Python script for either outside of XAMN Pro or within XAMN Pro. So sometimes getting that data from those files in a quick, easy CSV file might be what you want to do. So you can look at it with Excel outside of XAMN Pro. So again, this is where the data resides if it is stored on the device. And so being aware of these files, of this application, is very important. And I should say that if you guys saw the last picture here, that we did not remove the rebuilding of the SQLite database. We kept that in there. So we actually have you build a SQLite database from scratch. So we kept that in. I think it's important. This course will teach you how to obtain and parse the data with Python. Here's an example of a script that Oscar Choi helped me out with for Life 360 app. It hasn't been updated in a long time, so it probably needs an update. Absolutely does, I'm sure. But this is the type of thing that is important. It's being able to bring it into XAMN, having it logged. If you do run Python scripts, please make sure that you save the script, because it is hashed in the log file. And then once you guys parse that data, You can use it for filtering, tagging, and reporting. So you can do your regular export reports or a report builder and get that data from that unsupported application into your report and pass it on to investigators, prosecutors, whoever. So that is an example of the log file running the script. So we got to learn how this data is stored and managed within the device and the application folder and within the SQLite database. We're going to take a look at unraveling encoding schemes to unveil hidden information stored within strings and blobs, binary large objects, and understand the workings of the write-ahead log. Another poll question is, are you familiar with this? Do you guys even know this exists? And do you know what it does? And that's very important when you're analyzing SQLite data. Is the rollback journal, the write-ahead log. Those two methods are routinely used, and just knowing what the write-ahead log and the shared memory file do is extremely important for your success in finding potentially deleted content that you do not find on the handset itself in the actual messages. So that is the XAMN Pro Advanced Analyst. We have added a section on advanced in artificial intelligence coding. So we will show you how to use artificial intelligence to create, test. Definitely need to test, because creating with artificial intelligence is a art form into itself. You can't just create the script and have it work 100%. There are some refinements that you're going to have to do to it, and some suggestions that we have for you to make your script the best it can possibly be, using artificial intelligence if you want. Again, it's not a replacement for knowing and learning Python. It really isn't, because you really need to know what it is doing. You also need to know what modules you would be adding. So you have to be aware of the ins and outs of this. It's a nice thing to have and to help you out quickly when you're trying to do something with Python. But you just have to understand the pitfalls that come along with it. But some fun stuff, and I look forward to sharing that with you guys on the course. So that's the XAMN Pro Advanced Analyst course. Live online training for right now with the rebrand of the MSAB Training Academy. We do have live online training. However, there will now be an option to book certain MSAB courses and have them delivered live and online with an MSAB technical trainer. However, as of right now, none of the advanced extraction courses will be run online. They're always classroom-based and in-person. Hands-on learning is required for these types of courses. So that could change as we look at different training methods with the Advanced App Analyst course. So you have the AAA class that we used to do. We've done it live. We've done it online. And the XRY Pro the XAMN Pro Advanced Analyst class for right now is going to be classroom, but at some point, hopefully that will be back live online. The XRY Pro Advanced Examiner class will not be taught online. It just doesn't work. It has to be hands-on. And besides, you want it hands-on. You want to have that confidence and that experience so that you're not doing this stuff for the first time with an actual case device. Do we have any questions, Greg?
No, nothing in the chat.
Okay. As far as additional courses in 2025, in the new year, the MSAB Training Academy will be looking to add further courses to our curriculum. These courses are planned to be offshoots of the current advanced courses, aiming to add to the already high level of knowledge acquired and getting into some new areas, hopefully. As mentioned earlier, there'll be another webinar from us soon discussing all things advanced in XRY and XAMN. So pay attention to your emails for any webinar invites that you might get. Also, be sure to check out our customer portal and go to the Forensic Forum and check out there. You can always try to find the MSAB Mondays and any other video content as well that we've done. And if anybody has any questions, that's wrapping up the webinar from me. It was pretty quick and easy with these two courses, but here are the projected learning paths. This is extremely important for you if you want to get that badge for that different type of certification, whether it's going to be examiner, analyst, or both. There are tracks set up for you guys to look at and to consider as you plan what trainings you'd like to go to and attend. So that, as you guys can see, we have the XRY Pro Advanced Examiner and XRY Pro Advanced Analyst kind of in the middle there, and that can lead you up to more certification things from there. Yes. So the question is there an easy way to use Python scripts in the forum in the MSAB customer portal? Yes. What you want to do is obviously have some experience with Python, but go in and take a look for a script. Again, make sure it's going to meet your needs, and also be sure to check it. Make sure you review any notes that come along with the script, comments, if you will. And then you can copy it, paste it into Notepad, save it as a .py file, unless the notes tell you to save it as some other way. But save it as a .py file. And then in the documents folder, you will see an XRY scripts folder. I believe it's XRY Python scripts off the top of my head. You can paste it into there. Just be careful if you're trying this and you haven't had any training on it. Be careful because you may end up in the options with it set to run the script all the time in XRY. So just be careful because you're not going to want to run scripts all the time with every extraction. Now, maybe there is a case for something that you do specifically that would require that, but just be very careful. That's a good feature request. I'm not sure if that's something that's possible or not, but for right now, I just copy them, paste them into Notepad, and then save it as a PY file. But again, do pay attention to the comments, and with Androids, pay attention to the data, or if it's user data on your device, because that could be an issue if you don't change the path. So pay attention for any file names or paths or anything that's specifically named in those scripts. It may need to be modified. Maybe the application has changed and so forth. So you are welcome. Download button would certainly be nice. I don't know if that's something we can do.
Okay, you got a thumbs up.
All right. Thank you for that. All right. So getting back to this Training Academy pathways, after taking the XRY certification, XRY Pro certification, XRY Pro Advanced Examiner certification, we have the CMFS, which is the Certified Mobile Forensics Specialist. And then after taking the XRY certification, the XAMN Pro certification, the XAMN Pro Advanced Analyst certification, we have the CMFA, which is a Certified Mobile Forensics Analyst. And of course, this leads up to the final, the MSAB Certified Mobile Forensic Professional. So watch for more information on this in the upcoming months, maybe early next year. So pay attention for that, especially since many of you have been through some of these courses or hopefully plan on going through these courses in the upcoming year. Please reach out to your sales folks for information on pricing and stuff like that. But here's a poster. It was put together. So this is going to be recorded. So This webinar is recorded, so if you need to view it later, you can. Does anybody have any other questions?
No other additional questions in the chat. Just want to remind everybody about the polls. Thank you for those of you who have filled out the polls. We ask that you, if you haven't already, if you could just click on that heading above and just give us those answers on those polls. Those are very helpful to us. We're taking feedback and polls from our customers. If you haven't seen it already throughout this webinar, on the last webinar, we are listening to the feedback that we get during our courses. It's overwhelmingly good, but we've taken the critique and the suggestions and the information that you're saying you need to see, and you need those skills in the field, and we're incorporating those to some degree or a greater degree into these courses. A lot of feedback over the last kind of feedback time period has been, you want an organized approach to training. You want to know what's next. Once you get a new set of skills, you master those skills, you go back after your training course and really kind of refresh your skills based upon what you learned. And some Q&A in the customer portal doesn't hurt either. The feedback we're getting is that we want what's next, and we're going to start providing the what's next for you as needed. So feedback is always key, and polls and feedback help us. Are those challenge coins? Interesting question.
I was waiting for you to see that, Greg.
Yeah, that's a great question. I may or may not have some samples in my backpack right now of some round items that are heavy in your hand for those of you who successfully passed certain courses, but we'll release that as needed. That's just a teaser for the people who show up for the webinar. So thanks everybody for coming. Chris, great job. Thanks for relaying all this great information about the changes and the progress. And again, feedback is key, everyone. Thanks for showing up today, and reach out to us if you have any questions.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you for doing the polls, and please let us know what devices and apps you guys are seeing if we do not support them, so that we can look into that for you. If you need any help, let us know.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming, and have a great day.
Thank you, guys.